Vachetta leather is a term used to describe a very high quality vegetable tan leather used primarily for handbag handles, straps, and trim. It is untreated and thus retains the natural tan and beige color of the leather hide. Louis Vuitton and Coach have helped make Vachetta leather really popular. And it's essentially a marketing term, and it's used to refer to high quality vegetable tanned leathers. Giving it a unique name obviously gives it a unique appeal, and that's why it has that name. It's derived from the French word for calfskin, or vachette. Calves typically have a very soft, even-toned, supple hide, and that makes them really smooth, strong, pleasant leathers that are used for a lot of, high-quality items. Vachetta is also really unique in that it's unfinished. Because of that, the surface of it is very exposed, where the pores in the leather hide are open. With normal wear and exposure to air and moisture and oils in the skin and all kinds of things like that, it begins to darken over time and develop an often very pleasing patina. And this is mainly due to how it reacts with the substances that it comes into contact with. And that'll create that subtle contrast of wear over time and actually become preferred. That's why when you see some bags that are brand new, they all have the same color and it looks like very fresh. But you may have a bag that's 20, even 30 years old and have a very nice gradient patina on it, and it almost looks better with time. Sun and water can affect this coloring as well. So it's really important to maintain this type of leather, and that way it'll help ensure optimal wear, longevity, and look and feel, over a longer period of time. And another element of Vachetta is that since it is unprotected, it is much easier to, stain it and get it dirty and things like that. And so this is an important leather to maintain and keep in good shape day to day. So let's take a look at this leather close up. Looking at the top, we see a very, even, smooth leather, as we would expect with a quality vegetable tan. And we could even see the little pores where the hair used to grow. And that's obviously been removed during the tanning process. What we could see here is relatively strong leather with that top surface still intact. Looking at the bottom, we see a very nice fiber texture as well. Since this is the bottom, we're going to see those fibers be a little looser, a little wider, a little more open. And so we see that exactly here. But even with that, it's a relatively tight, smooth, very quality, fiber on the bottom half, which we would expect in a higher quality vegetable tan leather like Vachetta. And the section view, a great section. We see again towards that bottom, those fibers as they get a little more spaced apart, a little wider, a little larger. And then as we get towards the top, they get denser and denser until we see that top layer, which is relatively thin, yet it's very packed fibers that provide a strong, durable surface so that an item like this can wear and last really well for decades, even longer. When looking at cost for a true high quality Vachetta leather, we're looking at around $20 per square foot. And of course that can vary. There are a lot of different manufacturers that will make, what they refer to as Vachetta leather. And just like any, material supplier or wholesaler, you'll find some that are providing a higher quality material, some that are providing a lower quality material. So that price will vary, but in context of, this leather compared to others, you could expect to pay around $20 per square foot. Looking at the pros, we have a very high quality leather that will last, a very long time if cared for properly. It looks great. Usually they have a very nice grain surface to them, so it's going to be a beautiful leather. And it will also develop a really nice patina over time. If it's cared for well and kept clean and maintained properly, will typically look better, the longer it is used. Looking at cons, some are a similar context to the pros. Since it is an unprotected leather, it's also more vulnerable to staining. It's also going to show scratches more easily since there isn't any kind of a protected surface on top of that. It's also going to be much more susceptible to, kind of moisture and water stains or any kind of spills that get on it. simply again because it's unexposed. So what are the good uses? There's a lot, but the primary ones that we're going to see with this type of leather in the marketplace are going to be, luxury handbags, duffel bags, and luggage. We're going to see it often used for straps, handles, trim, on the bottoms of the bags, and for different accent areas to kind of create a contrast between this material and others that may be used on those items. We could find it too being used in belts and shoes and accessories, sandals, wallets, bags, and even sneakers sometimes as well. And so it's a pretty versatile material, and you could find it either as a primary material or as an accent material in a lot of different leather goods. Additionally, since it is a vegetable tan leather, it's a great option to be stamped or tooled or molded. And so it's really possible that this could take on different shapes. You can make different cases out of it and things like that, literally custom made to a particular object. Or adding on unique styling like carving, tooling, stamping, things like that. A good vegetable tan leather will receive that ornamentation and stylization very well. And so this is a great one for that. And a quality Vachetta leather is usually very supple, very easy to work with, and they work really well for stitching together, either by hand or by machine. So there you have it, the story of Vachetta leather. And if you're considering using this for a project, it's definitely worth checking out. And if you've got something that you want to look better over time, this is definitely going to be an option that, when well cared for, can look better, decades from now, from really good, proper use, and be a beautiful piece in the future. It works great on many projects and would be a sound choice and produce some really excellent results.